for some celebrity love stories, then. There's a lot to get through today, so are you concentrating, ladies? Right, first up, it is Jennifer Lopez, who said this about hubby Ben Affleck on American telly yesterday. So that then begs the question, when you guys are in relationships, who's the chatterbox?
What do you think, Charlotte? I actually bore myself. Honestly, halfway through the day, I think, God, just shut up. Honestly, I'm boring.
And so do you then...
I can't stop.
You just keep going?
Well, I go from a really, serious, discussion, and we'll be talking about really heavy stuff, to stupid, oh, you never guess what Dave the Goat did today. And then I think, how did I get there, and why don't I just shut up?
Yeah.
And then there are other days where someone will start talking, and I think, I don't want to talk today to anyone.
Yeah.
Because we do it for a living kind of thing, so sometimes you get home and think, I just don't want to talk to anyone.
Do you think you carry on talking with certain people because you find silence uncomfortable?
No, I think I just talk a lot, actually.
Because a lot of people aren't comfortable with silence.
I don't find silence uncomfortable, unless it's somebody new who I think is really shy, and then you try and keep the conversation. But no, even some of my kids sometimes, I see people zone out. And I can't
look
blame
past
them.
you? They just look past
you?
you?
They look past you. They look past you, or they're looking at you, and you think, you're not listening to one
But in that moment, do you stop?
I stop and go, you're not listening, are you? And, my kid will go, no, because you're just boring. No, don't feel sorry for me, because I am. Honestly, sometimes I'm really interested, but most of the time I just bore the hell out of myself.
Well, it hasn't done bad for your career.
No, I don't know. I get a lot of comments going, God, you're boring.
I imagine you're a chatter. Are you a chatter?
Me? I don't think I am in a relation. Someone giggled like you. I like to listen. I like to learn a lot about them. I think, especially in a relationship, it's good to let them talk, because then you kind of see what you're getting into. And I like to see if they're going to slip up. If they say one thing 3 months ago. I know, it's the social worker in me. I like to assess everything and analyse. I analyse a lot. And then I have got a thing that literally, it seems like I don't talk a lot, but even I'm talking a lot now. But I've got a thing which has said to me...
I'm going to start looking past you in a minute.
When I've been dating, I've got this 11 o'clock thing. When it comes to 11 o'clock at night, that's when the really, intrusive questions, I just go...
Wow.
I think it's because I get tired, and at that stage, I'm like, it's 11, I ain't got time to waste. I need to know if you're a liar. So I just start throwing out...
How do you find out if someone's a liar?
I mean, you just start throwing out the questions, and I think what is, you ask the questions directly, instead of have you ever been in a compromising situation where you've kind of liked somebody else and it was awkward? Stop, tippy-toes. Do you cheat? Have you cheated? When did you cheat? What was the name? How long ago? When did it last?
That's not being chatty, that's being, an interrogator.
Interrogation.
An interrogator. I mean, I don't mind a chatty person as long as they're not just constantly talking about themselves.
Yeah, no one likes
then,
No one likes that.
No one likes those people.
No one likes them.
Now, it seems love actually really is all around. Well, maybe. On Monday night, you know what I did there, didn't you?
Yeah.
On Monday night, Vogue editor Anna Wintour and actor Bill Nighy set tongues wagging after they were pictured at the Met Gala together, leading to rumours they'd taken their 20-year friendship to the next level. Now, they insist their relationship is purely platonic. They released statements today, but it did get us thinking anyway. Can love come from friendship? What do you think, Jane?
Yes, absolutely. I think it depends on your age. I think they're both 73, aren't they? So I know they're saying that their relationship is platonic, but I think if it wasn't platonic, they're right there at the same page in life and, probably just a lot wiser and whatever. I think back in my 20s, I probably still looked for the person where, you just have that electric moment, which probably wouldn't come from a friendship, because if they've been your friend for a long time and you've not had that electric moment up to that point. But I think friendship becomes more powerful as you get older.
Yeah, because my best mate, who I was best man for, who's a guy, We dated for all of like 3 weeks when we were 16 years old. We met through friends. My friend, we were around at her house. She was seeing a guy. We were like, oh, why don't you invite him round and get him to bring his friend? So we were all chilling at my friend's house and Daryl was there. And we started talking and we exchanged landline numbers because that's what everyone had at that time. And so we chat on the phone. I remember just being underneath the quilt and he'd be on the phone and I'd be chatting so my mum and dad didn't know that I was talking to a boy. And then we did that for 3 weeks. I don't think we ever even kissed, actually. And I just remember being in the car with my dad as we were driving down his road and I saw Daryl cross over the road and pass the car and I looked at him and I thought, nah. Nah. And then I stopped seeing him that very evening. I was like, I just don't think this is going to work. And I do remember him going, but why? And I was like, I just can't put my finger on it because I couldn't, but I just knew
it wasn't.
But
it wasn't to be.
Friends?
And then literally 2 weeks later, you know, once we'd all both gotten over ourselves, we then started chatting as we had been weeks previously, and we grew a friendship that's still there.
Some 20 years later.
Well, no, because I was 16.
Wow.
So it's like almost 30 years later, and he's still my best mate. And I think we just both knew that dating wasn't our thing.
I think that's all right if you're both on that
same page.
of the same, yeah, because it's like when Harry met Sally, isn't it? Can men and women ever be friends? And the whole concept is that there's always one in the friendship that
feels
hopes
more.
for that moment when something
Yeah, I've
will
got a
happen.
friend who has got a best male friend and they get on great and they really, really love each other as friends. But I know she loves him.
Oh.
And he just sees her as a friend. And she kind of knows that, so she doesn't push it. But I think you're right. I think there's sometimes more than the other. And also, if you've been friends for ages and ages, years even, and it crosses that line into a relationship, if it doesn't work for one of you, can you go back to being friends? I don't know if you can.
It's a hard one.
Because it's different.
I think
In my experience,
it
no.
doesn't
You
work.
can't really, because they might meet someone else who goes, well, I don't want you to still...
Exactly.
Because you crossed the line of that friendship.
I think the problem comes as well with that, and if maybe, like, you both liked each other, but one was in a relationship and one wasn't, and then you pretend like, oh, no, we're just friends, and you keep that friendship hoping that the other one will break up with their partner and somehow, and then you've got that kind of, oh, 1 minute you're with someone, the other one's not, and you have that relationship which really, there's something a bit more than just friends. But no, you're right. I don't think it works when you...
No, and we have actually done a poll about this. We asked, were you friends with your partner before dating? Yes was 35%, actually, and no was 65%. So, yeah, 35% of people were friends before.
Well, let's hope the ones who were in a relationship who wasn't friends before are still friends, are friends now. Because you need your partner to be your friend.
Yeah, you do need your partner to be your friends. That's very true.